Why should you as a man never have an argument with a woman? Well, mainly because it's a no-win situation. There are only two ways to have an argument with a woman, and neither of them are effective. Actually, there are three. In the past, men used to resort to physical violence and beat the woman, and thankfully we've left those caveman times for the most part behind us. So that leaves us with a choice of either emotional conflict or logical reasoning. When it comes to an argument, women tend to favour emotional conflict, but that's really a no-win for either party. If the man cowers down to a woman, she's only going to think he's a simp and lose respect for him. If the man shouts or screams back, the woman may still keep her respect for him, but it's just going to get more heated and more unpleasant for both of them. At best, both the man and woman are going to feel very, very bad, or at worst, the man's going to lose his temper and start destroying furniture and terrify the woman. Men tend to favour logical reasoning when it comes to having an argument with a woman, but that just doesn't work, not with a woman. And you could try to explain that away by saying a woman is an emotional creature, or she can't be reasoned with, or she just wants to fight just for the sake of it. But there's actually a much deeper reason than all of those. When a woman is arguing or causing conflict over what seems like a trivial matter, there's always a deep, fundamental issue, nearly always with a relationship, that needs to be addressed. It could be something that hasn't been specified, or it could be a compromise that's been made that she's deeply unhappy with. These fundamentals could be to do with many subjects. It could be to do with money or lack of it, sex or the lack of it. It could be something as basic and fundamental as having or not having children. Whatever it is, though, it has to be addressed, or you'll end up quarrelling and arguing over what seem like trivial matters. The answer to resolving conflicts between men and women might sound cold, but it can be done quite efficiently by simply drawing up a relationship description in just the same way as you'd have a job description. That way, both the man and the woman know exactly what is expected of them, and they know exactly when they're doing something wrong. The challenge in creating a relationship description comes in needing to be honest right from the outset. But providing both of them are completely honest at the beginning, then they're going to know exactly what's required. Otherwise, they're going to be left in the dark about what the other truly needs and wants. And then conflict is going to occur. And time will only make them worse. Whatever the deeper emotional issue is with a relationship, discussing it while you're having a heated exchange, while you're having an argument, that's absolutely the worst time. The best thing to do would be to wait until things have calmed down. And when a woman gets angry and gets emotional, the best thing you can do at that time is to walk away. Leave the room, or better still, leave the house and be away for at least an hour. When I was a kid, I used to see my mum get explosively angry with my dad and sometimes even throw plates at him. And he always did the same thing. He just walked out of the house. He was no simp. He was actually quite an angry, resentful and hot-tempered man. But he never cowered down to my mum. All he did was just leave the house, and he'd be gone for several hours. And my mum said she never understood this, as it didn't seem to fit in with his character. She said that the other husbands in the street would either cow down to their wives when they got angry, or they would scream and shout back, or in one particular example, the husband would get angry and smash the place up. And all my dad did was leave the house. And I think he did exactly the right thing. At the end of her life, my mum talked about this, and she said she never understood why he didn't fight back. She said she wanted him to fight back and couldn't understand why he didn't. So I explained to her the reason why he didn't fight back was because he was protecting her. At first she just didn't understand this at all, and I said that if he had fought back, you would either be in hospital or the funeral home, and he would be in prison. It was quite a revelation to her that he was protecting her from violence, and she was glad she finally understood. Because for a real man, arguing, quarrelling, shouting, it's the same as violence. It's just on a lower order. This is why a man should never argue with a woman. Only when he's calmed down should he return to the house. Then you can try to have a proper conversation about what the real issue is and try to unearth the deeper fundamental issue that needs solving.